Truly understand what people may say. They believe to think how we think is far from okay. But I believe it's never okay to abandon your dreams. And it just so happens that our dream is to lift up a holy king. See, this is my life, my choice, and I choose to lift up my hands. And please don't be alarmed if when the music comes on, I begin to dance and run across the room until I can barely catch my breath and fall on the floor because I gave it all and have nothing left. See, I'm gon' worship until I pass out. See, I came to worship until I pass out. Cause we go hard in the paint, hard in the paint. We go hard in the paint. We worship hard in the paint, hard in the paint. We go hard in the paint. We worship hard in the paint, hard in the paint. We go hard in the paint. We worship hard in the paint, hard in the paint. We go hard in the paint. We worship. If you came here to laugh at somebody, you can go ahead and laugh at me. Cause while you steady laughing, I'm dancing off shackles and being set free. See, I may look like money, but you don't know what I've been through. And I'm still going through some of it, so dancing is something that I gotta do. See, Jesus was the only one that saved my soul. He took a chance on this broken-hearted man, grabbed my hand and he made me whole. Yeah. See, Jesus was the only one who saved my soul. Yeah. And Jesus was the only one that made me whole. So I'm gon' worship until I pass out. See, I'm gon' worship until I pass out. We go hard in the paint, hard in the paint. We go hard in the paint. We worship hard in the paint, hard in the paint. We go hard in the paint. We worship hard in the paint, hard in the paint. We go hard in the paint. We worship hard in the paint, hard in the paint. We go hard in the paint. We worship. I came here to worship a holy God. And I don't care about what you've been through, cause also my life is going hard. And I've been through some pain that nearly left me dead. But God changed my way and he said, this is something you should do instead. See, I was singing for the world, singing for these girls and singing for this fame. But just like Saul changed into Paul, Jesus Christ came and changed my name. So I came to worship until I pass out. Did you come to worship until you pass out? Brothers and sisters, don't worship until you pass out. Brothers and sisters, worship until you pass out. Because we go hard
Hey, welcome, welcome, welcome to the session, Bible Beats and Bars. Listen, I'm your host, Minister Fred, too. You already know the business. Wow, that was an amazing video by Uncle Reese. And it's, praise him till I pass out. We're dealing with the whole theme of relationships, how to save your marriage before it begins or starts. And then for those that are already married, like we get it, understand it. It's how to maintain it and keep that thing right, keep it juicy, keep it fulfilled, keep it healthy, keep it holy, keep it happy. So without any further ado, I want to introduce our guest again. Was with us last week. I mean, he was doing some amazing work. He set it off. It's none other than Dr. Michael A. Cross. Hey, welcome to the show, bro. Welcome to the show, man. How you feeling?
Oh man, doing good, man. Glad to be back one more time.
Yeah, you
How you
back
doing,
again?
Minister Fred?
I'm doing fine, man. I'm doing great. I am doing swell. Listen. I'm going to read the script we had last week, man. We talked about Genesis 1, 27 and 28. And I know this week we got a new script. We're going to deal with, what is it? I think what we'll do, Philippians 2, 5.
2:5.
Does that work? Okay. Let me
Yeah.
go back and do that that Genesis 1, 27, 28. And then we're going to pick up
Okay.
where we left last time. And it's good seeing you, Doc. All right, Genesis
Yeah, man,
1,
you too.
7 through 28 says, God spoke. I remember you said last week that God is the author of good, healthy relationships and marriages. So God spoke, and this is what he said. He said, let us make human beings in our image, make them reflecting our nature, our image, and our likeness, so that they can be responsible not only just for the fish in the sea, and not only the birds in the air and the cattle and all that is on the earth itself, but for every living thing that moveth on the face of the earth. God created human beings. Listen, that's us. And he created us godlike, reflecting God's nature, prospering, to reproduce, and to feel the earth, and to do and take charge successfully. Man, listen, Doc, we talked about this, but go ahead and just build a little bit on that as I pull up this next scripture, because I think it's important as we get into the second segment or the second show series that is. And I want you to share a little bit on once we get to that point. Go ahead, man.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's a powerful text. At the end of the day, what the Lord is saying is that again, you are to take dominion. I have set a blueprint. I have established a set of guidelines for you to have a successful marriage. And from the time of the Garden of Eden, when everything was all perfect, he said, "Hey, go out, procreate, multiply, build the earth." All the things that you have to do in order to have a successful marriage has been laid out by the scriptures. And when we go into this next text, not only is it the physical and the emotional, but it's also the mind that is to be considered when you are going into a marriage. What will be your mindset? And we're going to cover that today as we move forward in our next segment of building your marriage before it
Yeah.
starts.
And I love that. I really like the fact that we're building a foundation that leads to a marriage that will last throughout eternity. You know
Oh
what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like, I love that. Now, so let me read it. Philippians 2, 5, and actually I'm going to do 6 too. It says, think of yourselves in this way, the way Christ Jesus thought of himself. He thought himself not equal. He thought himself to be equal status with God himself, but didn't think so much about himself that he had to cling to the advantages of the world itself, no matter what it was. Because of that, his obedience, God lifted him high and honored him far beyond anyone and anything ever, so that all created beings, that's us, right? In heaven and in earth, even those along and those that have lost their life and buried, may be able to bow and worship him, because he said in his word that we can think like he, because Christ has given us that ability. Doc, what that's heavy, bro. That's heavy.
Mhm.
That's heavy.
Yeah.
Let this mind be in you, which is in Jesus Christ. That But when you break it down, it's just like, Christ was like, "Oh, let me show you how to do this." What you saying, bro?
Right, absolutely. I mean, one of the first things that Christ is teaching us in letting this mind be in you, which is also in Christ Jesus, is what did Christ do? Christ said, let me put together a plan because of sin. Let me be willing to come down and die on Calvary's cross, and let me put myself through the issues of humanity and all of that to die on the cross. Well, if you want to have a mind of Christ, you must be willing to sacrifice. You must be willing to have a humble spirit. You must be able to look at the same components of Christ's humility, his sacrifice, his ability to serve, and all of that. That also goes into marriage, into people, into relationships. If you look at Christ as the blueprint, as the model, all of those things that you see in his character must also be in you. And that includes the path and the journey of dating and courting and then eventually going into marriage. And now Christ was not married, but he still set up principles of character and humility that we all should emulate.
Wow. Now, before we go to the first music video, so just so we can make this clear, we're dealing with mindsets. Is that what we're dealing with? Talk about what we will discuss before we get into this music video and then the interview itself.
Oh, certainly, yeah. So every person brings a mindset to marriage. What they're saying, what they're thinking, what they're believing when it comes to trying to tie the knot. It's their attitude towards marriage. They have beliefs. They have thoughts and feelings and attitudes about the concept of marriage. And so there are 5 principles, 5 mindsets that has been taken into consideration. They've done studies, and most individuals have 5 mindsets, which are resolute, rational, romantic, restless, and reluctant. And we're going to cover those mindsets. And I'm telling you, it's going to be deep. It's going to be powerful, because you may think, well, I don't know. Yeah, you fall in one of those mindsets. And we're going to break down why you fall in one of those mindsets and how one mindset, different from the other mindset, can often come with conflict or resolution. And we're going to deal with those mindsets. And I'm telling you, it's going to be powerful today.
Well, there, got it. It is. Dr. Cross is in the building again. Round 2. Ding, ding. We're going to go to this music video, bro. You already know. Let me handle this. You know what I'm saying? So you're going to enjoy this music video by Heesan Lee. And then you're going to also see the intro, how we get down for the show. And don't forget, we want you to tune in always to the No More Dirty TV show on Friday nights. And you can get the replay on Wednesday. We'll be right back. The Session, Bible, Beats, and Bards, Mindsets, 5 of them. Dr. Cross, yours truly. Shout out to the squad. We going to get it. Let's go.
The blood of Christ made us clean.
The No More Dirty TV show, hosted by Minister Fred 2, airing the cleanest and dopest music videos in the industry every Wednesday and Friday at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time on the No More Dirty Inc. YouTube channel. We got clean, positive Christian hip-hop and urban music for your viewing and listening pleasure. We also have music video exclusives, interviews, ciphers, life lessons, and more. Make sure to follow us at Minister Fred 2, at No More Dirty Inc., and at No More Dirty Radio Show. For more information, email us at info@nomoredirty.org or call 256-698-9749. The No More Dirty TV show. Connect with us and tune in.
Do you know what it's like when everything is screaming, get me out?
Demons got the best of me. I'm sitting here, life is stressing me. These thoughts wanna mess with me. I'm scared of my destiny. I close my eyes trying to find peace, hoping I can tell myself I can make it. But I can't take it, can't take it. Wait, I'm okay, I'm okay, I'm okay. It's all in my head, I'm okay, I'm okay. No, I'm not okay, no, I'm not okay. These thoughts won't stop. At chest pains, they exceed me. Heartbeat, take it easy. Losing breath, I see me dying. Jesus, don't leave me. Looking around, trying to catch my breath. Scared this moment will cause my death. My vision's blurry, these hands are shaking, thoughts won't rest. Had trouble breathing, now I'm pacing back and forth for air. Run to the phone, call 911. My hands are shaking, I'm too scared. My throat is closing now. I can't swallow now. Keep breathing, don't stop. Keep breathing, don't stop. Inhale, then exhale, take it slow. You got this locked. Don't let this overcome you. Close your eyes, the panic will stop.
Do you know what it's like to live like this? When everything is screaming, get me out of this. Do you know what it's like to live like this? Well, if you do, then I'm with you.
Maybe some pills would help me. They say it could numb the mind. If I could live one day without these thoughts, then I'd be fine. Sitting in traffic scares me. Flying on airplanes scared me. The thought of never escaping, it's like you can't prepare me. I feel like I'm barely making it. Living this life with fear, no breaks in it. Put all of my days in it. Put all of my shame in it. I'm tired of living this way, I dread it. They say don't sweat it. It's clear they'll never get it. Imagine living your life in fear. Never in peace, never be near the joy of living in freedom. Everything's gone except your tears. Crying for someone to save you. If anxiety can replace you, if it's someone else, I'll trade you. Take my place, I need a breakthrough. My heart is growing tired. All the trauma that I put it through. My life's too short and it shouldn't do what fear inside tells me to. Inhale, then exhale, take it slow. I got this locked. Don't let this overcome me. Close my eyes, the panic will stop.
Do you know what it's like to live like this? When everything is screaming, get me out of this. Do you know what it's like to live like this? Well, if you do, then I'm with you.
Listen, everyone's got a story to tell. Sometimes you see heaven, sometimes you see hell. This life ain't easy, believe me. Hard times come, at times they need me. Sometimes they leave me, but I made my way through this battle. Saddled up, never throwing the towel. It's okay to be anxious. It's okay that we're not perfect. It's okay that I'm broken, coping through this life. I know that it's worth it. My Savior's hand is lifting me, uplifting me. He lives in me. His promises He gives to me. Panic attacks are real, but still my heart they never will. No God's will, I'm standing still. Feel His presence, know it fills every part of me. He's a conqueror. He told me don't quit. There's no blocking you. When trials come, I'll rock for you. I finally found this peace. I'm making it. I'm chasing it. It's here with me. I'm embracing it. Every time it leaves, I'm taking it. Proclaim my story to the nations. Patience, all I'm facing. Life's amazing. Keep on racing. Don't give up. God is waiting.
Do you know what it's like to live like this? No, you don't. No, you don't. When everything is screaming, get me out of this. Do you know what it's like to live like this? Well, if you do, then I'm with you.
Wow. Wow. Simply amazing. What it takes to find that happiness in relationships that not only make a difference, but how do we do this? What kind of mindset must we have to actively be prepared for the marital relationship. I'm going to bring back in Dr. Michael A. Cross, and we're going to dig right in, and let's do it right now. Dr. Cross, you ready, man? You ready to get in on this,
man.
brother?
Oh yeah, we're here, man.
You ready?
to go.
All right, so let's dig in. Mindset number one. Let's talk about it. What is mindset number one? And then let's find out how to do this thing and do it right.
Oh yeah, man. So mindset number one is called the resolute mindset, which means, admirably purposeful, determined, and unwavering. 22% of the population falls into this category. They have a traditional, optimistic view of marriage, expecting lifelong love. They feel in control of their life. They have a life plan, and it includes marriage. Typically, this resolute mindset is someone who has both parents, even up to grandparents, that have had strong, long-lasting marriages going 30 and 40 and 50 years. So when they go into this marriage and they're in the courting and dating, they're resolute. They're solid. They're saying to themselves, I want to spend time with this person for the rest of my life, and divorce is not an option. More than most, resolutes have carefully considered what they want for their life. And the one thing is certain, they want to be married. They are true believers when it comes to matrimony. They are more than twice as likely as others to say that divorce is not an option. And they are resolute with words like devotion, dedication, and commitment. Less than 2% of resolutes find themselves in divorce. And in fact, only another 2% usually say they never want children. So they plan and invest in their life and in their family from the go-get.
Wow. This is really, really important, man. Doc, when you think about, I never really thought about in this manner, like what you were telling me. Like, for instance, we were talking prior to this show, folk, and we were talking about why there's so much mental anxiety is because the mindset, if it's not stable and it has not come to a resolve, like what you're saying, then you're all over the place. I'm all over the place. I'm not sure. I'm just going to go with it. I'm going to wing it. And I have no professional objective, like we talked about last week. And I think that's important. Doc, why is that so important? Why is this mindset, the resolute, why is it so important?
Well, here's the thing. When you're in the throes of dating and courting, you would assume that the main purpose is not only to get to know the person, and the main purpose is to build. That's why I keep saying that rushing into marriage, rushing into relationships because of financial obligations, or you had children and now you want to just jump into it, is quick. It's impulsive. I always say 18 to 24 months should be the minimum that someone should take time to get to know the person. Well, in the time that you are getting to know the person, guess what? We hope, and the plan of this whole thing is that wherever you are, and you'll learn about the other mindsets, resolute is the ideal, is the place you want to get to, but you don't get there overnight. You don't get there tomorrow. You get there by building that time with getting to know the person's history, their family, their expectations, your expectations, any kind of career goals, any kind of financial credit report, and I can go on and on. Criminal background, pathology. These are the things that you must learn and know about the person in order to get to, oh man, I'm in. I'm resolute. I have spent time and I'm ready. You don't want to get down there and you're unsure.
Right.
Yeah. That's why it's so important to get to that resolute mindset.
It's interesting. I'm a big movie buff like you. I got a chance to watch Marry Me, Will You Marry Me Again? That's on that movie with J-Lo. And it was amazing. Yes. And it you could see, dealing with the mindset. You know, one thing you're thinking, another thing you're seeing, but you just going with it, and really there is no full connection. You really don't know the person. You're trying to figure out, where do I go next? So what the other thing that was important about this, which really stuck and hit me like a brick, really, was you said 22%. Dude, that's a marginal percentage. Let's talk about that. Like, I think that's important in relations to 100% and the 22% of the population. That's all of us in this whole globe around the world.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. So 22% covers 1 in 5, right? So 1 in 5, equally across the board, men and women, okay, are resolute in their desire to be married. I mean, you and I can just go and look at our friends and look at our acquaintances and look at people that are in our circles that are single. And if you ask most of the people that are probably a little bit older, some in their, in their late 20s or 30s, some, past 35 or 40, they begin to build on that resolute mindset. When you're 20, you fall in love, you date, you this, you that. But as you watch those movies like that, as you see your friends and family, as you see aunt and uncle, as you see grandmother and grandfather, as you see society around you, what happens is you see the pitfalls. You
Yeah,
see
that's
the red
powerful.
flags,
Yeah,
right?
and
You see
you
all the
do.
damages. Yeah.
Right.
There's no way to get away from it. So what happens is when you see it, your mind begins to say, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that.
Right.
I need to get help with this. And as it builds, I become resolute that I want to find someone to spend the rest of my life with.
That's powerful, and it's interesting because in part of what you share was that this mindset, this when you look at the individuals in this category, they had two parents. We don't.
Yeah.
It's over 650 to 60% of broken. And there's just single parents is the takeover right now. So then this what we're talking about today is super duper important, because if we don't understand what's going on now that we don't have as many two parent healthy marriages that you see on the regular, this is great information, Doc, and we appreciate you for real for doing this.
And you'll see the mindsets change as you go to one parent, as you go to divorce, etc. We have 4 more to go. So right now, yes, you have that population of solid 60 and 50-year parent, and then their child says, you're my role model, you are our example, and I want that same example. But as you, Minister Fred, talk about the broken dysfunction, a lot of single parents, a lot of single moms, single dads, multiple marriages, blended family, the mindset changes. And we're going to talk about why those mindsets are different from the resolute mindset.
So do we want to go into the second one, or do you want to kind of give a precursor to the second? Tell me how you want to do that.
Okay, we'll do a precursor to the second. The second one is the rational mindset.
Okay.
And we're going to talk about that. The rational mindset takes up 23% of singles ages 18 to 30. And once again, the rational mindset deals with someone who sees those issues and realizes that marriage needs work, and they put the work in. And we're going to deal with that in a moment.
Wow. So let me ask a question before we go into the second mindset, and then we're going to do let's try maybe do the third one and then go into music video. When we look at the comparison of the first mindset, which is 23% of the population, and now here you are talking about the second one, which is rational, and it's 23%, but it's leaning heavily toward the single population, those that are not married. What does that really say? And then go right on in and talk about that second mindset.
Right. Yeah. So what that basically says is that while you may have a general overview of marriage across the board in all cultures, all population, when you look at religious individuals who are of people of faith, when you look at generational, You have an older crowd. You have, any number of cultural, like West Indians and African American and Caucasian. Then the resolute mindset covers everybody, that in general, 1 in 5 people simply want a solid, strong marriage. Now
That's
we're going into the right. Now when we go into the rational mindset, it skews towards a millennial and a younger population, because that population is watching everybody else. And then they're saying, hey, okay, I see all of these movies. I see all these different dysfunction. I see all the baby mama drama. And rational mindset says we got to put work. So let me share what the rational mindset is.
okay.
They view this lifelong commitment with more caution than others. The rational mindset guards their heart. They're doing what they can to protect it from harm. That's why they tip the scales a bit more towards rationality than romance when it comes to matrimony. They don't buy into the mystical idea of finding their soulmate. They view finding a potential partner to marry as a more rational endeavor than will inevitably require serious work, right? When asked what they expect from the marriage, rationals are more than other segments expect the road of lifelong matrimony to have its share of bumps. And so they realize that in order to find fulfillment in marriage, there's a price, and that price is hard work. So for an example, they reject the idea of a soulmate. The cohabitation is viable. Let me tell you about the cohabitation part.
Yeah, and I
Again,
think this is important because it's so unique to
yes,
how we think and how we move.
right. The cohabitation part is this. Um, Looking at generations and looking at back in the day, cohabitation was shunned. No. You all don't live together. You all don't have intimacy together. You live on one side of town. She lives on the other side of town, and you date, and there is a curfew, and you need your father or your mother's permission to be able to maneuver a courting and dateship and a dating idea,
Correct.
right? But this generation of the rational mindset of the 18 to 30 says, I want to learn about this person intimately in the house. I want to live with them, and I want to learn all of these things firsthand. So let's move in together. And that's dangerous because, as you and I know, when you cohabitate and move in together, you begin the journey of wife and husband benefits without being married. And you see all the habits, you see all the things about the living and all their different quirks and different things. You have your first argument. And what usually happens with cohabitation? You split up. I didn't know this person was, I didn't know. Then they raise their voice, and then the red flags start to happen. Then you have unmarried domestic violence.
Wow, wait. That oh
It's a
wait,
lot.
wait. You went somewhere you said, I was thinking, domestic violence, blah, blah, blah. No, unmarried, meaning you're in the
Unmarried.
same house and you identify something that triggers you or ticks you off. And
Right.
instead of you having had taken the time prior to living together, now you're
Right.
living together and you can just go ham. You just go ballistic,
Right. With an
causing that.
unmarried man
Right.
and an unmarried woman.
But acting like you're married and
Exactly.
you're happily ever after husband or wife.
Right. And you have those control issues of you're not married. You're sharing bills, sharing this, probably sharing children. And if you're not married, oh, you hit me, I'm out. I should be able to pack up my stuff and walk out and say this, I'm not going to do this. We're not going down the aisle, and we are going to move on. And what usually happens is people that are in those situations find themselves being controlled and staying unmarried in a long-term cohabitation relationship because they did not take the time to learn about the person separately before you moved in.
You know,
together.
this is deep. This is super deep, Doc, because it goes back to the principles, the biblical perspective, and the biblical principles, which is you must be true to thyself, be true to thy God, be true to the person, and also forever growing and learning. So the minute you
Yes.
stop doing that, building yourself up first, like I need to be a better person. So I need to really work on me, and I need to work
Mhm.
on me in my quarters, in my crib, in my house before
Right.
I just jump and start moving in with somebody else, Doc. And then I
Right.
haven't even figured out how to get it right for Fred. But then I'm gonna be
Right.
kicking it with old girl, and then we got this thing, and then that's not even to include the bond sexually now that is a spiritual principle that has been in act physically, procreation, if possibly, and then you got
Yeah.
kids coming in it, and then it is drama because I
Yeah.
didn't get me right, which
Right.
is
We're,
part of the 18 to 24. That's bro. That's just
yeah. We're doing it backwards. That what you're talking
right.
about, Fred, is we're doing it. Number one, we're not following the blueprint first, and then we're doing it backwards and expecting a different result from the blueprint. You know what they say: if you keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result, that's the definition of insanity.
Insanity.
And right, and what happens is you think, let me, yeah, let me do it my way. No
Yeah.
counseling,
Right.
right?
Right.
No older couple mentorship,
Yeah.
right? No time to get to know the person, but you engaging in sex,
Mm.
you having children, you know,
Hmm.
you're doing everything, you're cohabitating and moving in. And then at the end of the two, let's say the 18, 24 months,
Right.
right? You did all this,
Right.
or
Right.
even 3, 4, 5 years, you're saying to yourself, oops, I messed up. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, because now you're in this relationship that you did not follow the blueprint. And now you've got the blended family, children out of wedlock, etc. And you've got all kinds of collateral damage and hurt and emotional pain and suffering and all these different things that now press against what you should have done. And that is take time, get counseling, follow the blueprint, and you have a better chance of a long term marriage than short term that leads to divorce
Mm.
and
You know,
separate.
this is really, folk. This is very, 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 very important information. I'm sitting here listening with an objective ear, and I'm going, man, I blew it. So to all those folk that really went backwards, what would you say to them as a starting point? Remember, this is saving your marriage or your relationship before you even get married. So, what would you
Right.
say to that individual that has done everything you just said?
Mhm.
Literally everything you said. I mean, I got the whole nine. I'm in court. I'm trying to get my kids. I got a really nice woman that's with me. I'm living with. It's a nice guy. He's great. We go to church together. We do all of that. What would you say to that couple right now?
Oh, right. Now, listen to me. Those of you that are listening, watch this. The every moment that you wake up, when you have breath in your bosom and you wake up, first thing is you thank God that you are alive, and you thank God for another day to praise his name and start over. You know, we die daily. And if we die daily and put away the old man of sin and start every day, the Bible says that his mercies are new every morning, right? Now, what that means is there is redemption. What that means is that there is an opportunity for you to start over and to make things right by biblical counseling, getting someone like myself to help you through those marriage concerns or premarital concerns, finding an older couple to mentor you, going to marriage and pre-marriage workshops to get objective perspectives from other people in the same situation. There is always room for growth, and there is always room for redemption and starting over. And so, whatever situation you're in, whatever baby mama drama, whatever court situation you're in, whatever, go back, start today and say, hey, honey, I love you. We're going through some stuff. let's go get professional help and let's begin to start this journey back where we can restore and we can save our marriage before it starts.
This is powerful. And here's what's beautiful about what you said. I just from a spiritual yet practical, it goes back to what you said in mindset too, is that at this stage in your life, you can say, God, I wanna get back on track. And then when doing so, like Chap just said, like the good doctor said, you have to put the work in, redoing and deconstructing stuff that don't need to be in your life, and then saying, babe, let's do this together so that we can be a couple, a married couple. And I love that. I love that, Doc, because at the end of the day, there really is hope. Like there really is hope. And even though you might have gone the cohabitation way or other different journeys and paths, you can always get on the right path by being rational and saying, okay, what do we need to do? Step 1, step 2, step 3. What do you think? What do you think about that, Doc?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, Fred, you hit the nail on the head. I mean, that's it. The Lord forgives. Anytime you go before him, before the throne of grace, Lord, now you know my situation.
Yeah.
You know that I was young and inexperienced and I did not make the right decisions. Lord, I made some mistakes. Oh God, I am now in a situation with, this woman, this man, where I've got, child support and I've got to get a job and I've got to work on my education so I can afford, the mistake that I made. Lord, I may have a felony on my background. Lord, I've got, 2 or 3 kids from different individuals. Lord, whatever the situation is,
Right. Right.
there is room for you to turn around and say, from a rational standpoint, we need to put this work in by getting the help that we need, and we can start today. We can sit down and start today on a path towards the blueprint, the path towards less stress, the path towards less depression, the path towards less suicide, the path towards restoring relationships with your children, the path towards less depression. All of those things you can start today and say, we made mistakes, but let's get help. And that's what we want to share with you today about those mindsets, because those mindsets are important, to where you are and where you've been and where you want to be.
I love that. And I want you to give your information before we get to this third point. Again, which, like you said, ultimately, if you and your significant other, your love of your life, this will lead you back to the road of marriage. Happy, holy, ordained, approved by God marriage. And so don't give up. I mean, I get it. Some of y'all been living together 4 years. We're not saying just up and throw it. No, we're not saying that. What we're saying is, now what you need to do. You need to be planning. So you need to call Dr. Cross or one of the great Christ-based and biblical-based objective counselors, and and just say, hey, so give me your information before we get into this third one. I think it's important. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can reach me. You can reach me. Just first and foremost, go to Symbis, SYMBIS.com. And there you'll find all the information about saving your marriage before it starts. I provide virtual, counseling as well with this wonderful technology of Zoom and all of that. So you can, look me up, Dr. Michael Cross on Symbis. You just search for the facilitators searching area. And you can also email me at dr, that's David Romeo, dr. Michael A. Cross at iCloud.com. MICHAEL A Cross at iCloud.com. And I'm more than willing to give you, consultation and help you see where you are and get you to get to the assessment that begins to pull out the mindset, pull out those red flags, pull out your marriage momentum. And we go through 8 to 12 sessions. If you want less, we can work that out. If you want more, And then another thing I do too, and I want to make this very important, Minister Fred.
Go ahead.
Just because you go to an 8 to 10 session or 12 or even 15 before you get married does not mean that you stop. Okay, honey, we finished the sessions and we're ready. No, no,
Yes,
no.
sir.
I tell my couples, because the Symbis assessment pulls out or prints out like a 15 to 18 page report. Couple, take 1 page a month, work on that page, and now you've got a page or a section of the report that you're working on in your first 15 to 18 months of marriage,
Wow.
right?
Wow.
So that when you're married now, you're still in premarital counseling while you're married and addressing
Ooh.
those issues. Oh, man. Oh, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
listen, that's good. That's good. And here, and I'm listening to you, and I'm going. Basically, you're saying you're staying actively engaged as a couple because not only you love each other, but because you want to get to know each other better. Now that
Yes.
you're in this side or on this side of the love relationship called marriage,
Right.
because you didn't put a
Right.
ring on it, or you put a band on it, or some folk don't do it, and they just say, "Hey, we love each other. We just get married and go talk to the preacher, the priest, or
Right.
whomever." You know?
Right. Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah,
wow,
yeah.
wow.
And marriage takes work. So, so again, refresher, right? Oh, we've been married 3 years now. Is there anything that we need to address in the time that we've been together? Honey, um, I'm still a little bit concerned about your paycheck and the finances, and you kind of have an impulsive spending habit, as one example.
Right. Okay.
Let's address that. How can we begin to put together a better financial security for us? Because now we have children, now we have education that we have to pay for, student loans, et cetera, et cetera. We have a mortgage, right? And one of the top reasons why divorce happens in marriages, Minister Fred?
Why?
Finances.
Money. That's right.
Finances is the
If she ain't
top
getting
reason,
she draining me, got to go.
right, for divorce. Yes.
Yes, sir.
And so I'm just giving you one nugget of, hey, honey, it's been 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. I think we covered a few things in our premarital, in our first year, second year, but we still have some tweaks to do. How about that financial? So now you go to a marriage seminar that specifically deals with house finances. How do we make sure? Because remember now, if we're together and we're looking about long term and we're resolute, guess what happens in 10, 20, 30 years? Retirement.
Come on now. Come on now. Yeah.
Right? The kids are now in middle school, high school. You got track, you got football, you got them growing, you got clothes, you're not thinking long term.
Right.
But you spending that money on them rims. Right? You spending that money on that Gucci and on them Jordans.
Come on now. Come on.
Right?
Yes,
and you're
sir.
not thinking long term that, honey, we love each other and I can't afford to be impulsively spending on stuff when we have to consider retirement and financial security and job security and promotions and pay increase, etc. I'm just giving you a small nugget of one of the top reasons why.
That's a nugget. You say that's a nugget?
That's a nugget of why people get divorced.
That's the biggest nugget out there. That's a billion nugget. You know what I'm saying?
That's a big nugget. Yeah.
Okay, so let's do this. Professor, I think we need to go to a video. This is it. Just these two. We got 3 more to get through. So let's go to a music video, man. I'm thinking, let's go with KRL. They got a video called Run It. You got to run it. You got to do the work. And then when we come back, we're going to knock out the last 3. I hope you are enjoying yourself again. This is The Session, Bible Beats and Bars. I'm your host, Minister Fred, too. Shout out to my Professor X, co-producer, DJ, you already know, Scissorhand, making sure the music and all the videos is straight. And then we want to say shout out to my co-host who is doing what he do behind the scenes. We'll be right back. The Session, Bible Beats and Bars, with our special guest, licensed board Christian counselor, Dr. Michael A. Cross. Stay tuned. Get you some water. Don't go nowhere, though.
grace on grace on grace on grace. I can't even count all the mistakes on stakes on stakes on stakes. But I will not stop, I'ma shoot my shot like Lillard. I ain't dumb boy, pass me the rock like Clay. In the slums, I'ma shoot my J like Dilla. Run it, I can't even count it, I can't even count it, I can't even count it. Run it, I need 3 clerks, I need 3 accountants. You don't know where you found me. Had it not been for the Lord, homie, ain't no telling I was wildin'. I was worn out in my soul, on the way to throw the towel in. I heard he was a fountain, I was thirsty, I was starving. I heard mercy was a plan back when the serpent slithered in the garden. I was knee deep in my own eating, given every reason to discard them. But I was made free, now it's OT, OT. I'm all in. Run it, I can't even count it, I can't even count it, I can't even count it. Run it, I can't even count it, I can't even count it, I can't even count it. Run it, I can't even count it, I can't even count it, I can't even count it. Run it, I can't even count it. You can't muzzle me, cause I got a God that's in love with me. Cross on my chest where he suffered thee. Death for the wicked to sup with me. When I thought he had enough of me, he called my name, put his son in me. And now the Holy Spirit run with me. My soul had a woman, he wanted me. But God told me run it. All of your goals and all of your plans, put them in my hands. Run it. All of your folk and all of your family won't understand. I swear they be wildin'. They shot their belief from the islands. But we can't preach our faith in the man that was slain as a lamb when he suffered the violence. He can have it all, I told him run it up. I don't pray for blessings, he done enough. Brand new mercy way before the sun is up. We don't need your counsel, Satan, shut it up. Win, 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 I gotta win, 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 win. Yeah, 10, 10, 10, now I'm on 10, 10, 10, 10. Run it, run it, run it, run it, run it. Win, 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 I gotta win, 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 win. 10, 10, 10, now I'm on 10, 10, 10, 10.
Whee! Running. Hey, welcome back to the session, Bible, Beats, and Bars. I'm your host, Minister Fred, too. Again, listen, we want to say thank you for taking time to check us out, hanging out with us. Make sure you go to our YouTube channel. Let me let you know what's happening so you'll know what's happening throughout the rest of the day, throughout the weekend, and also throughout the week. So, Professor, let's go ahead and do this real quick and get my man back in. So on every Friday evening, let's just start there. Every Friday evening, 7:30 Central Standard Time, you need to figure it out. It's the No More Dirty TV show. Now, here's what's really great. We've had such a great response by you all that we've added Wednesdays. So it's on Wednesdays at 7:30 Central Standard Time, and our premiere is every Friday. So we're on several different networks. So you just had to kind of figure it out. But you can always go to our YouTube channel, which is what we always ask, that you go and you subscribe. No More Dirty INC. That's every Friday and the replay on Wednesday. Then also we want to ask you to be a part of our celebration every Saturday. We call it our Biblical Sabbath Saturday Fellowship, and it's where hip hop meets faith. And it's the session, Bible, Beats, and Bars. That's what you're checking right now. That's every Saturday, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. You can check it out in person, our studio here. You can come hang out with us. That's at 5045 North Memorial Parkway, Suite B in Huntsville, Alabama. And that's if you're in our area. If not, then you can catch us on all of the YouTube, all of the Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and of course, you can get us on Facebook, No More Dirty INC. Then after you finish hanging out with us at 2 o'clock, we want you to go and turn on the dial, man, and hang out with us because we're going to be kicking it with DJ Scissorhand. He has a radio show called DJ Scissorhand Radio. It's every Saturday night, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time on G93. Shout out to our homie, one of our supporters, and one of our friends. That's edgainsentertainment.com or G93 Radio. Classic hip hop. All you got to do is just go and pull up the app, download it on your phone. You got it. It's lock and load, and that's what it is. That's on Saturday, every Saturday, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Then on Sunday, let's get it. You already know you get the whole squad. That's the No More Dirty Radio Show. That means you get life lessons with Coach. You get me, your host, with the most. That's Minister Fred too. You got 2 DJs, DJ Scissorhand and DJ Sam Smythe, the inspirational DJ, been touring with me for years. Then you also have Marcus Sims Media keeping us community connected. And then you have Scope, man. It always keeps it running, running, running. So you can catch us live. It's on the screen every Sunday, 5 p.m. on G93. We just told you get the app downloaded. You can also 6 o'clock on We Up 103.1. You can check out them on their app or 103weup.com. You can go worldwide on our website, nomoredirty.org. And we also now have our podcast. You can catch it on Anchor. You can download it. It's the Minister Fred 2 and No More Dirty Radio Show. So you got it, man. Listen, this is what we do. And then, of course, our website, pull that up real quick so they can see that. We want to make sure that you are invested as well as we are. We are community connected. We want you to go visit the website. In fact, put it on the whole screen, man. I want you to visit nomoredirty.org. Invest. Check it out. Decide what you want to do. And then say, hey, I want to be a monthly sponsor. I want to hit it. You can do something on Cash App. You can do something at the website. You can say, listen, I want to be a part of Camp Smart. I want to be a part of the festival this year. Whatever that might be, volunteer for whatever. We have the Greatness Project, and then share it. So that's what it is, man. All day, every day, it's No More Dirty, INC. Now, thank you for tuning in. Again, let's bring in our guests again. I want you to know that it is all about you. We want to see you healthy in your relationships, so that you'll be even healthier and happier and holistic and holy in your marriage. Yo, let's bring on our man. Our good friend is my man, Dr. Michael A. Cross. All right, man. We here. We round 3, baby.
We're here.
3. We here. What's up, bro? What we got going on?
Yeah, man. The sound is good. You can hear me?
Yes, sir. I got you, man. We can hear you, brother.
All right. Awesome. Yeah, man. So number three, baby. It's getting deep. It's getting deep. Now, this one is, I should say, is vital because let me just get into it, and you'll understand what I mean when I say it's vital.
Run it.
Yeah, man. The romantic mindset. The romantic mindset. The romantic mindset inspired by ideal of affection and love. This segment, 19% of the population, brings a heavy dose of idealism to marriage. Romantics expect love to be lived out with unintended passion and ongoing intimacy. Love for romance is a bit like a movie. It is adventurous, poetic, starry-eyed, chivalrous. In a word, love for the romantic is idyllic. What's the word? Idyllic. It's idealistic.
Idealistic. Okay, I got you.
Right. They see love as
it is, whether it is or not.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. They believe in their soulmate. In fact, they are nearly twice as likely as the average person their age to say there's only one perfect marriage partner for me. So they bring a great deal of idealistic hope and not a short supply of unconscious pressure to their marriage. They don't have a plan.
Your mic is a little. Give me you sound a little tickle in your mic.
Oh, I don't know what happened.
Okay, now you're there. You're there. Okay, all right, we're ready. You're back.
Okay, we're ready. Okay, and so they don't have a plan.
Okay.
They believe in the one person out there for them, and they tend to be service workers and clerks by trade.
Okay.
Now, let's go back to the comment you made a few minutes ago about those movies.
Okay. Yes.
The rom-com.
Rom-com all day. Yes. Okay, let's get into it, brother. You can maybe take me. Yes,
the rom-com.
Rom-com.
Okay?
Yes.
The rom-com, right? What is the typical starting point of the rom-com? The rom-com starting point is I'm in love with this person.
Right.
I have an idealistic look at who they are.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They're beautiful. They're J-Lo. They're The Rock. They're handsome. They're sexy, whatever it is.
Right.
I don't know them.
Right.
I haven't spent time to get to know them.
Right.
I don't know their family. I don't know any of their past history. Yes, and the movie usually starts out with, if the movie was only 5 minutes long and you love them, I would get married to them right now today.
You're right.
right?
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Rom-com. And then what happens throughout the movie when conflict arises and the in-laws step in and the parents pull you back and say, oh, wait, you don't know this person. You don't. What happens is you go from the romantic idealistic to, oh,
Mm,
am I willing to, number one, I've learned about their past
right.
and now am I willing to accept them, make some changes, learn, and
Mm.
then go down the aisle at the end of the wedding scene at the end of the rom-com.
And literally, here's what's so funny. You're absolutely right. It's only 2 hours of movie. They have done everything in a minute and 20 minutes, an hour and 20
An
minutes.
hour and 20 minutes, right.
And they ride off in the sunset like, da-da-da-da.
Right.
And
Yeah.
it's like, bro, this ain't for real. But
Right.
it's been romance. We've been romanced so much by the ideologies, like what you said. And I think it's important because at the end of the day, if we're not careful, we will actually take on something that's really not real, which is, I think that's where you're going. Correct.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I mean, romantic mindset does not take into consideration the work that you have to put in to get to the resolute mindset, right?
Wow.
You
Wow.
got to go from romantic, you got to go up from romantic to the rational mindset, right? And then from the rational up to the, resolute. And romantic. Now, let me throw a few things at you there, Fred.
Yeah.
Romantic mindset puts sex first.
Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah, if you are not celibate and you are engaged in sexual intercourse,
Correct.
you put the romanticized person, you put intimacy first without the rational, hey, before I engage in this, let me
Mm,
look at this person's health history of STDs. Let me look at this person's past sexual dilettantes. And then what happens is when the romantic mindset takes over and sex is involved, and now you've got the consequences and the reaction of children and the emotional and all of that, that's when the rational now hits you right in the behind,
kicks
kicks
in.
you in the
Right.
behind, and now you're forced to move from romantic to reality.
And you know what's interesting is, statistic when we look at how STDs and STIs get started, it's really because there's just a wave of all this wild frenzy in a lot of ways,
Right.
and or the reality is that because we don't have that relationship established, we hadn't worked for it. We just assume because I look good, you look good, she's cute, I'm handsome, he has money, and it goes back to that, by beholding, we become changed. That's a principle that if
Yeah.
we're not careful, like you said, we will start at the mindset 3, thinking that he or she is good enough to be mindset 1, when really they have
Yes.
no idea because they haven't put any work in for themselves to be
Right.
mindset number 1. So how they
Yeah.
gonna do that for you?
Right.
Facts.
Right. And then romantic mindset also leads to a very high um, divorce rate, right?
For sure.
Because now let's say the mindset of romanticize, this is my Prince Charming, you
Mhm.
know, this is my queen, and you have not put the work in. When you walk into the marriage and you're still thinking that it's romantic, and now you got bills to pay.
Yes. Mm.
Now you have health issues that may arise.
Right. Right.
Now you have, we don't have a dual income. You lost your job. Now COVID kicks in
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
reality happens where loss of job or any number of things. Now you end up from that romantic mindset, Mr. Fred, with all of the collateral damage that you have seen in our community. Blended
This.
family,
Yeah. And you know what?
broken families.
You know what's interesting, Doc, is that it sounds almost like when we get involved in this third mindset, we're really making a bad attempt to be one in terms of husband and wife, two becoming one, because we're mentally we're thinking single. Well, this is what I want because this is what I see in him or her. So I'm
Right.
living a single life in my brain.
Right.
Mentally, my picture is I'm a single man or woman, and I like what I like, so I'm just going to go for it.
Right.
But I didn't said I do like we've took the time to be one flesh.
Right.
Wow, that's
Right.
crazy.
Yeah.
Because not only, like you said, collateral damage, but you're talking about long. Now you're talking about generational damage.
Oh man. Yes.
Generational, because you
Yeah.
add the mama drama on it, and then you haven't even then you divorce and you move out your business. What's happening with these kids?
Right.
Now we talking about
Right.
foster kids. Now we talking about leaving kids in the trash can. Now we're on another whole level, and all
Right.
because I thought he was good in the bedroom, but he was no good. Your dad ain't no good. Your mom ain't no good. All of that.
Yeah. Yeah. And you bring up a good point because I was just telling a friend of mine about that old 1970s, 1960s little analogy. Daddy was a Rolling Stone. Yeah.
I remember that was a hit and a half too, bro, back in the day.
Right. Yeah. Romanticized. Right. The culture tells you even today. Now we're talking about back in the day, but even today, your music
Right.
videos
Yes.
and all of that, they romanticize relationships as this looks good and that looks good. And she got a nice little, she's a brick house and he's a handsome, big, strong man dingo and all that. And you look at image and we look at, what we like you said,
Yeah.
but there's no substance
Come on.
in the person and in the relationship.
Mm.
So you in the bed, you're in a relationship, you're in a cohabitation. It's all great and wonderful, but you don't know this dude's back history. You don't know if he's a felon. You don't know if she got depression issues and she is, just recently somebody was killed by their girlfriend.
That's right. That's right.
Stabbed to death by the girlfriend.
That's right.
Right?
Mental health,
Because
mental
you
health,
don't,
polar, all
yeah,
this, you know,
all of that. Yeah,
all of it.
bipolar, mental health. Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
And so when you romanticize and you put sex and intimacy ahead of rational and ahead of being resolute, then you get all of those things that come from that said the collateral damage of oh man, wow, I'm here and I got 3 kids and I got this and I got this man and I got this woman and I can't get out and I like him so much and I love him. And sometimes romanticize, you go back to the mess.
Right. You entrapment becomes
And
that
you're
entrapment.
yes, exactly.
And I see that all the time. And
And you
it's
can't cut it loose.
right. You can't cut it loose until there's something traumatic or you get evicted or you're in some real situation. You and your kids
Right.
are homeless. You're in shelters. We've seen that time and time again. And it becomes the new generational dilemma for the nation and for the city at large.
Right.
Now,
let me add this up, Mr. Fred. Another part of the romantic thing is this. And I'm not knocking any particular person that does this. I'm just giving the mindset of the person so you understand romanticize.
right, we understand.
Okay. We're 25, or I'm 35 or 40 and you're 20. Everything is good. And we have a romanticized approach to relationship. The moment that I get tired of you, or the moment that a new person comes along that piques my interest, or the moment that we have our first 7, 8, 10, 12 arguments and I'm just done, I don't want this anymore. The romantic mindset says, I'm done and I'm an upgrade. Because in the romantic mindset, I'm still looking for that soulmate. And that soulmate could be couple, spouse, not spouse, but significant other number 3, number 4, number 5, number 7. Because you're not putting the work in, I need to continue to try to find that next person. And so I put the other person out to pasture. I trash them and keep going to the next person. And what do you have? Blended family,
There you go.
multiple children.
And I think this again, we are hopeful that this information is really making a difference as you think through everything you're hearing. And we understand that it is a choice, and then we understand that everybody is in a different space in terms of mindset and actually where you are in your life. The point of this sharing of this third point is, if this is where you are, we really strongly encourage you to get in touch with somebody objectively who is licensed, certified. And I'll say this, Doc, I work in housing. I work with families that have a lot of challenges and they're looking at reaching goals. And the blessing about being in this nation is that there are services that we provide through our tax dollars to be a blessing. Now, it doesn't mean to abuse them, but what it means is if you couldn't afford it initially, you could go down and you can apply for these type of services. But I think this is amazing, Doc, what you're saying, because at the end of the day, there is still hope, and there is still redemption, and there's still the unequivocal knowledge and understanding that God really is just getting your attention through maybe this mindset that's not as healthy where it should be. Let's deal with number 4, Doc. Let's bring him back in, because I think this is really, really important. Let's deal with mindset 4.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So mindset number 4 is the restless mindset. Okay? The restless mindset.
Restless.
Right? Restless.
We just dealt with romance.
Right. Now you're restless.
We got you restless.
Yeah.
Oh, go for it, Doc.
Now, the restless mindset, 1 in 5 singles, 18 to 30, have a restless mindset. Marriage is a distant goal for this group. Their ambivalence about marriage is reflected in their strong feeling for and against it. They lack confidence in their skills to make marriage work. It is, now watch this, predominantly young males. 70% of young males are restless about marriage. They are risk takers and focus primarily on having fun. Okay. Now they're ethnically diverse within the higher income. Okay. And let me share a couple more little nuggets about the restless mindset. Okay. You've heard the phrase ants in the pants, right? It usually refers to fidgety kid who never seems to sit still. The same restlessness, however, is found in some young adults, especially cavalier males, and who dominate the restless mindset. They aren't ready to settle down. They're too busy exploring their options. They're not looking for responsibility. In fact, words like dependable, consciousness, loyal, serious, and responsible seldom enter the picture. They go for it attitude is focused on fun. And the fewer responsibilities they take on, including marriage, the more fun they believe they'll have. Okay? The restless mindset wants to be, they don't want to be married. They want to be married, but they're not rushing to the altar. Okay?
Wow.
Yeah.
This is interesting when you look at restless, and that's mindset number 4. And if we go up to 3, we're dealing with romance. You know what I mean? The romantic. Because it's really almost like I'm listening to you, and I know folk are going, wow. It's like I choose fun even over being romantic. But I'm going to have so much fun, I'm going to include it, but I ain't worried about really being responsible.
No responsibility.
I'm not worried at all about anything that would make me a catch or attractive other than my swag.
Right.
And 70% of the brothers, bro.
70% of
That's
men.
not good. That's not good. That's
Yeah,
not.
70%. Let me see what my document says here. I'm looking at it, and it says yes, predominantly young males,
Mm,
70%. So we're talking, the 18 to probably 25, 27. You may squeeze up to 30.
right.
But the jock, the bachelor,
Yeah.
the lawyer, the working lawyer that just finished graduate school, and you know, and they're just out to the club, they meet whoever,
Yeah.
no emotional attachment, and just having fun and restless. And watch this. 70%, they have relative to their peers, they have a greater tolerance for physical abuse. Okay. And the same is true for drug use. They have expectations when it comes to sexual fulfillment. Still, they are far more likely than their peers to not get married for fear of possible divorce. When asked what holds a marriage together, they are likely to say loyalty,
Wow. Crazy,
right?
man. Listen, yo, that's deep. That's super deep.
Yeah, yeah. So
It, yes, it's deep. Go ahead.
yeah, yeah. So you see that mold. We all see the movies, and we all have friends, and we all see people that fit that exact mold right there, right?
Yeah.
The alpha male that has no responsibility, no moral barometer, right? They are just out for fun and abusive, controlling, etc., and just sex over here, sex over there, throw you away, pay you some money, keep it stepping. I'm about my career. I'm about me, myself, and I'm not
Mm.
looking to take any kind of responsibility. And uh, I am not looking for you to change me and to tell me what I need to work on in order to be married.
This is deep because we usually on our show we do an exclusive for this series, but we do a thing that's sponsored by Drug Free World, and they always talk about the different drugs that the recreational. This is that recreational drug um, population, if you please, where they just say
Hmm.
live for the moment. They have the money to be able to enter and get engaged into these type of vices, and even the relationship is a vice. See, that's what's really deep about this is that man, it's just another conquering situation. I'm just conquering this one and that one, and then I'm gonna get high. I'm gonna drink as long as it's my body, it's my life, and so you have taken, that mentality. And here's the reality: it's dangerous. It's dangerous. Let alone not being happy because you're just filling yourself with stuff. And that what did Jesus tell the rich young ruler? He said, just get rid of all, just sell all of that and come rock with me. How many of us are really gonna rock with the Savior, man? When we
Yeah.
can be doing this all this wilding out. We just wilding. You know what I mean? Wow. Okay. Anything else, or we want to get to the fifth one?
No, that we're good. I mean, I think that we've covered the restless mindset. I think it's important. I think that we need to see now. Another thing we have to do is we have to look at those red flags, because the restless mindset also presents a whole plethora of red flags. So let's say that you, the woman or the man,
Okay.
are resolute. You may even be rational, and you get involved with a restless mindset.
Mm.
The first thing that you're going to look at is there are a whole lot of red flags that come with a restless mindset.
Wow.
And I would recommend, if the red flags get to the point where they're abusive, physical or verbal, where they are a non-caring, kind of person, you ought to reconsider getting into a relationship with this person, and just moving on. Because yes, there is somewhat of an idea of hope and change, but it has to be a serious, total 180 for them
Yeah,
to go from restless to resolute.
you're absolutely right. And if they're not willing to do it for themselves, you are just a victim. Hear me well.
Mm,
You're a victim, and it's a very dangerous place for you to be, or a relationship to even be sitting in, because at the end of the day, we see it all the time. Obsessed, if I can't have you, and I'm abusing you and doing these things, then no one else, and you find somebody dead. So we
mm.
want you to just be very mindful of that. So let's dig into the fifth one, and then we want to wrap up with the redemption piece for these last three. So the fifth
Okay.
one.
All right. The last one is a reluctant mindset. A
Okay.
reluctant mindset, exhibiting resistance or unwillingness. About 14% of the population is not the marrying kind. More
Mm.
than any other segment, reluctants are cynical about matrimony. In fact, it's the only segment to lack a desire to wed, probably because their own homes were examples of how not to do it. Okay? They are anti marriage, fearing lifelong commitment more than others. They believe people are better off staying single. Strong proponents of cohabitation. Having children does not appear to influence their decisions to marry or to stay married. They show average education and slightly lower income. Uh, they have heard of starter marriage, or they do. If you ever heard of a starter marriage, in the book Starter Marriage and the Future of Matrimony, the author defines the phrase as a first-time marriage that lasts 5 years or less, and you do not yield children. So again, this is a person that is reluctant. They don't want to get married. Sometimes they're forced into marriage. Okay, um, and they just they want to be single. And here's the other part. Oftentimes, the reluctant mindset is okay with um, common law marriage.
Right. Right.
They're very into living together, cohabitating, sharing, but never walking down the aisle. So they want the marriage benefits without the actual commitment towards marriage.
Mm.
And when you look at their background, they probably come from a broken home, high divorce rate. Mother or father has totally wiped out any kind of hope for them because mother and father set a horrible example. Okay.
Mm.
Dad was just, never
Oh,
around. And if he was around, he just came in for a little one night stand and he's out. That's my daddy. I never met my daddy. My daddy, I'm now 20 something. My daddy's got multiple other partners.
right.
I
You
got
know,
several siblings that are not from the same mom or dad.
yeah. Yeah.
So
But
because I have a bad uh, upbringing
right.
or
Correct.
history, marriage is not for me.
This is why and again, I want to say thank you very much, Dr. Cross, for taking the time to share all this good stuff with us. Because you know what? This is helping us literally be able to look at where we sit right now and say, in the relationship that I'm in right now, am I resolute, rational? Am I romantic? Am I reluctant? Am I restless? And then
Mhm.
say, is this where I need to be? One. And number two, is this where I ought to be? OUGHT. The Bible says, shun the very appearances. He says, to know, for him to know that this is not good, to him it is a lie. So,
Mhm.
or her, we're equal opportunities here. The bottom line is, these are very, very necessary to understand. Let this mind be in you, which is also in Yeshua, Jesus the Christ. And if we don't heed biblical, even listen, I'm gonna just say this, chap. Even if you say, man, I'm an atheist, I don't believe in all that crap, blah, blah, blah. Okay, okay, okay. Just hear me. Even if you choose not to do the Jesus or the God piece, if you would heed to the words, the practical wisdom, and I'm really trying to be very objective. If you could just say, look, let me try these nuggets. Let me just try these suggestions that Dr. Cross has said. And then after that, say, listen, let me see how this works. Go for it. What do you think?
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, the reality is that these mindsets. Now watch this.
Okay, hang on one
We
second.
have been talking.
We've gone into space. So we're going to try and get this technical piece straight just for a second. And if not, then you all, we're going to say thank you for your consideration and bearing with us when we're doing the rap. I don't know. There's a little echo. All right.
Okay, let's do this. Let me change my mic, and you go on to a music. I think the viewers want to hear a nice
Okay,
strong
let's do
music
that.
break.
Let's go to a
Yeah.
music video, and then we'll be right back with the wrap up. Let's hear some from 1K Pew. 1K Few. I'll say that, man. That's my dude. 1K Few, you already know the business. It's no more dirty. You know, the session, Bible, beats, and bars.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah. Wake up in the morning with a bag already. Brand new day, hate mad already. Cause you know it ain't tricking if you got it already. Got it already. Let's go already. Wake up in the morning with a baddie already. Shot bad already. Give my ex no time, I done had it already. Had it already. Cause you know it ain't tricking if you got it already. Already. Yeah. D. Let's go. Girl, you trippin', just come as you are. On the sun, you already a star. Every picture I throw rock and roll. You know I don't be stunning on fall, yeah. Turn that Bible, then I'll give you bug, yeah. While you fighting, I thought it was love, yeah. Jefferson's moving on up, yeah. It's a little hard to see, cause we up there. It's a little hard to see. And I'm paid up for real still. When I get on the beat, I go cute feel. When I try to keep peace, it ain't concealed. If you try to keep up, it's a done deal. I swear it's a real thing. When they take out the drip, but they real green. Like the police behind me, I've been seeing them. Already, already, and I don't really care about fame, yeah. I might as well stay in my lane, yeah. Only been scared of one name, yeah. Wake up in the morning with a bag already, It's a brand new day, how you mad already, Cause you know it ain't tricking if you got it already, Had it already, Let's go already, Wake up in the morning with a baddie already, Shot bad already. Give my ex no time, I done had it already, Had it already. Cause you know it ain't tricking if you got it already, already, yeah. My little young ain't gon' jump out the porch. For the lamb, he gon' jump out the porch. For the fam, he gon' jump out the porch. We gon' pull up for family, of course. Don't get paid in the south, he gon' north. Had to run in the sun, it was scorched. OG said he gon' pay me the torch. Told me that in 2004. I was 10. Had to go take a ride already with gorillas on the side already. And the ops tried already. We bout to go worldwide already. I was too young to ride on Chevy. My granny say something in the trunk smelly. Cat about showing all my fitty, but they know what's going on already.
Yes, indeed. Welcome back. Welcome back to the session. Wow, I hope you enjoyed it, man. That was a dope song by 1K Few already. If you already know, you better already be knowing. If not, that's why you tuned in to the session, Bible Beats and Bars. Again, we want to say thank you for taking time to tune in. Let's get right back in with the wrap up with my man, the good doctor. It is none other than Dr. Michael A. Cross. What's up, Doc? How you feeling, bro?
Oh man, I'm doing well. How's that? The sound better?
Yeah, that sounds a little bit better. Yeah, I think we can wrap this one up with this one.
Okay. All right. All right. Yeah, man. So let's wrap it up. You asked about really the difference between like a biblical perspective and maybe
Yeah.
those that may not have a faith, a journey or what have you, maybe atheist, etc. And once again, let me share with you. Now, look at what we've done all throughout this session.
Mhm.
We came with the Bible at the beginning, but none of the mindsets that I have offered you came from the Bible. So they're universal.
Come on now.
The mindsets are universal, regardless of whether or not you are a person of faith or not. Okay? What that means is that these principles are supposed to and do cover all aspects of life, regardless of where you come from, right? Your resolute mindset, whether you're a preacher, whether you're atheist, whether you're a rabbi, or whether you're no one, no faith at all, it should be the same. You should understand that God or no God, you should be resolute in knowing whether or not you are ready for marriage. If you're restless, or you are just reluctant, there's no faith that has to be involved in that. You just know that I'm sleeping around, I'm this, I have a bad history, I have whatever, and
Right.
and you want to get to the place where you build from being reluctant to restless to romantic to rational to resolute, and that's our ideal, regardless of your faith background.
I'm thankful that you shared that. And I want to say, and we both, as because we are men of faith, and we have seen the Most High change our lives for the better. So let me say this as we go to the God's mailbox. No matter where you are in your station of life, whether you consider yourself a person of faith, one that has a belief system that includes God or not, I will say this: that God is real, number one, and that if you do not necessarily believe or you don't believe, challenge him. He says, prove me herewith now that I am the Lord. I'm telling you I'm the Lord. I'm telling you I'm God. I can handle any and every difficult and challenging situation. So we want to encourage you that, because we know, I'm telling you, I personally know. I know Chap knows. And because of our personal journey, just like this is a journey to understand about relationships that lead to great marriages. But if you have a great relationship or build one, you will have one. And so we do God's mailbox. I don't know if you wanted to chime in on that, anything there, but I just wanted to make sure that we respect where you are, but we want you to know that God can and will restore if you allow Him to.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Mhm.
As I said at the beginning of this whole journey, he is the author.
Right.
He has set the blueprint. And on this TV show, while we do respect everyone's faith journey or no faith journey at all, I am a vehement believer that God is the one that you need to seek and search out and prove that if you put him first and you seek a biblical counselor and you approach your marriage from the Bible and from the principles set forth in mindset and in character and in humility and in grace and in redemption and the ability to turn things around, oh, come taste and see that the Lord is good and that he will restore that which the devil has taken. And I promise you that if you do that, you're going to find yourself in a long-lasting, loving, powerful, impactful relationship marriage that will also turn into a mentor and a role model for others to follow. And you'll find yourself in that place if you come and say, Lord, I give myself to you. I give my marriage to you. I give my single life to you.
Come on, that's
So
it.
that I can be prepared and ready. And I'm praying. I haven't met her. I haven't met him. But I'm currently right now praying for the spouse I have not met down the road. That they too can be ready so that when we come together, we are ready to save our marriage before it starts.
Boy, you preaching there, boy. You preaching there, brother. And it's practical. You know what I'm saying? So that's really. I just want to close with the God's mailbox. Everything you've heard today, everything that you have the ability and the opportunity to glean, meaning you take it, you think about it, you talk to God about it, or you meditate on it. We do something here called God's mailbox, and it's very simple. I'm going to do this real quick because I really want you to get it. Here it is right here. It's a little piece of paper, or you can do a notebook, depending on if you're a journaler. Write down on here those things you want to change so that you can be a resolute type of person and have a resolute mindset. So, God, I need to work on this. This is my struggle. I can't handle this. I get frustrated. This is my problem, blah, 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 blah. Or maybe it might be, I am struggling with, I want to be married. I want to be in a healthy friendship that could develop into a dating situation. Write it down. Just write it down. Write it down and take the biggest risk of your life. Let me tell you something. When I started writing this down, Dot Cross, it became the most therapeutic thing in my entire human life. And it was just on GP. It was just, the late Sister Daw said, this is what we did growing up in our church. We just wrote down and rewrote it and put it in the envelope, sealed it. And then once we did that, we took it and they had a big mailbox, right? So Sister Dawes, before she passed, she gave us one called God's mailbox. That's it right there, right? And then after we would do our thing, we would drop it in there and ask God to be God instead of us trying to be God. And I have watched in my own personal life, God do amazing things. I'm a better Fred because of my conversation, my writing, my therapeutic time with the Most High. And so we want to encourage you to do the same. Now, at the end of the month, we're going to burn all the prayers. You can mail them if you want. You don't have to. You can put it in what we do. We're going to burn it in an aluminum pan, and you'll see the prayers go as up to the Most High, and He's going to answer them because we don't read them, we don't look at them, we don't do any of that, none of that, because it's not us who can take care of it. Now, we can support you in prayer. We can do this. We can say, hey, man, anytime the phone is available, come by the office, come by the studio, blah, blah, blah. But we're not God. But we know God, and we're connected. So where 2 or 3 are gathered, you got 2 right now, myself, and you got the good Dr. Cross, who's an ordained minister of the gospel and a licensed, board certified, objective Christian counselor. So don't get it twisted. God's got you. What do you think? What do you think, chap? God's got him.
Oh man, look, Sister Doss. Let me first say that I honor Sister Doss, man. I miss her.
Yeah.
She was a powerful, powerful minister of the gospel, and I am better because I knew her. And so, on this TV show, we want to take time to just honor her and know that her legacy lives on in both you and I and all those that she came in contact with. Habakkuk 2:2-3 says, and the Lord answered me, write the vision.
Come on, write it down.
Make it plain. That's right. On tablets, so he may run who reads it. For still the vision awaits its appointed time. That means that when you write it down, you got to wait for the appointed time. It hastens to the end. It will not lie.
Come on. Listen. It's real, man. This is real as it gets, bro.
And the text says, if it seems slow, wait for it. It will surely come. It will not delay. Look, the Lord has covered every aspect of our life, and I love the mailbox. And so, look, yeah, write it down, make it plain, understand you must wait for it. It's not slow, and it will hasten to the end, and the Lord will answer your prayer.
So here, let's do this. Chap, since you got the paperwork, you bigger and deeper than me in this area. I would like for you to pray, but I'm going to say this as a precursor. We're going to pray that if you are in any of those five mindsets, that the Lord, those four, we're going to get you to that top one. We want to all be at resolute. That's where we really need to be. That's where we ought to be, and that's where we should be. And so the prayer today, Dr. Chap, I call him Chap, but Dr. Cross, is that I need you to take him to the throne, bro, because there are people that are watching this and will continue to share this. And while we have a great time and we have the dopest videos, don't get it twisted, hands down, we got the dopest people in the building. You're our most precious, precious, precious guest. You are. And like Jesus said about John the Baptist, he said John the Baptist was the best, the dopest, the most unique prophet to ever walk the earth. But even greater than John the beloved, the Baptist, or John the Baptist, excuse me, was anyone who wants to have Christ or Yeshua as their Savior. So I want you to just approach the throne on behalf of all of us, and especially those that are in those spaces of reluctance mindset, relentless mindset, romantic driven, this ideology that, I can come and go and just hit it and run. Papa Mama was a Rolling Stone. And even those that are dealing with rationale, meaning if it don't make sense mentally, I ain't doing it. But sometimes that's where that faith kicks in, because God says, I need you not to be so rational sometimes. Just trust me. But we want to get to that place where we're at that resolute. We are resolved that through God and the proper horizontal relationship building, 18 to 24 months, we can get there. So would you please take us to the throne, and then drop off them prayers, because we about to get out of here. It's just thick. The air is thick, brother.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's pray. Loving Father in heaven, we are so grateful and thankful for your grace and for your mercy. We are so thankful that you are a God, and beside you there is no other. We are thankful that there is nothing too hard for thee. We are thankful that way back in the Garden of Eden, you set the tone, you set the blueprint, you set the guidelines with Adam and Eve to say, I don't want man to be alone. Let me give you a helpmeet, and let me give you someone that you can share your life with. And though sin entered the world, you still set examples of couples all throughout the Bible that, yes, have made mistakes. Yes, there's all kinds of blended family in the Bible. Yes, there's all kinds of children that have been out of wedlock in the Bible. Yes, there have been all kinds of challenges and struggles in the marriage unity in the scripture. But Father, there is redemption. There is hope.
Yes.
There is a turnaround. There is a restoration that you can give to, and have given to, the human race. And so we've gone to, Lord, these five mindsets. We've gone through the reluctant, the restless. We've gone through the romantic. We've gone through the rational, and we've gone through the resolute. And all of these mindsets come with challenges. All of these mindsets come with behaviors and decisions that we make that challenge us before we walk down the aisle and say, I do. And somebody out there today may be in one of those mindsets. They are reluctant. They are romantic. They are restless. But we want to get them to the resolute mindset. We want healing and redemption and power, and we want counseling, and we want professional help, and we want mentorship, and we want whatever mistakes that have been made to be forgiven, and to turn around where you are right now and begin the journey towards a resolute mindset that come hell or high water, I want to find the right spouse, the right person that I can live the rest of my life with in loving union, holy union of marriage. And so we lift up those couples today. We lift up those that are been married, maybe a year or 2 or 5 or 7, and they may need a refresher. May they also find help. We have the singles that are looking for a relationship, looking for marriage, looking for someone they can spend their life with. May you bless their efforts wherever they may be, in school, in careers, in the household, in the workplace. May you be the center of these relationships, that your name be glorified in a loving, powerful marriage mindset. We thank you. We praise you. We know that you are God and that you are able, and there's nothing too hard for thee. Bless Fred. Bless myself. Bless the entire No More Dirty team, many of us single, that we may take these nuggets, these lessons, and apply them so that one day when we come back, Fred will be married with a loving spouse. I will be married with a loving spouse, that Christ will be the center of our marriages, and that you would be glorified. We thank you, we praise you, for we ask this prayer in your holy name, Yahshua the Christ, who is Jesus of the Bible. And the church said, amen, amen, and amen again.
Boy, you preaching up in here, man. A big shout out to our homie, co-producer. He's that's my dude, man. Professor X, man. Y'all give it up for Professor X, man. Always keeping it. We want to say thank you so much for being a part of this chat, Dr. Michael A. Cross. Thank you so much, man. We appreciate you both. And to our extended family, that is DJ Scissorhand, who has graciously been here making sure that the music is on point behind the scenes, and also my co-host Marcus Sims and the rest of the crew. We want to say we appreciate you, we love you, we thank you for all you've done, and to everyone who has taken the time. Yes, indeed, we got the best team in the world. And to our studio guests and to all our guests that are online, we want to say thank you so much. We love you. Listen, we love you. Anything we can do here at No More Dirty, you got that. You got that. If we can do it in our power, we will do that. Okay? So, yeah. And we pray that you were inspired and that you'll take these nuggets and run with it. So with that being defined, what are we doing next week, brother? What I mean, what's our next time? Because we got a concert next week, and then we're going to do that. So we might interwove you some in that too. But what is the next big topic we're going to be digging in on?
Oh man, the next big topic is those pesky red flags. Pesky red flags, boy. Yeah, they are vital. They are important. You need to know about them. You need to see them. And you need to address them. And we're going to talk about going into a relationship, coming from single life, coming from past things that you may bring into the baggage and all those things, and those red flags that need to be addressed before you walk down the aisle. Saving your marriage before it starts is our goal.
That's what's up. And then shout out to Ever Smith, who is going to be our featured artist. Band, they're going to be rocking out, man. It's called the Vision Blast. I mean, it's going to be great. So we'll do a live show there. We're looking at doing that right here, streaming it worldwide. Shout out to Ever Smith. You all will not be disappointed. I mean, you will not be disappointed. So on behalf of us here, we want to say we love you. We thank you. Hey, Professor X, if you want to take him out with something, that's cool. And don't forget, go to our website, nomoredirty.org. And we'll see you next time in Lock and Load. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube. Peace.
They sleeping. They sleeping. It's my lord land, the landlord. I expect my respect, rent due. Slice bars with a ginsu. Karate, the body, the track, can't get kung fu. Too many pandas in the gang, chewing bamboo. Tickled by the feathers of the fang. Got your name in the lights on a pedestal. Drunk off the crowd of fools. Take flight down the flight, couple bottles of that better than you. Pride like a female, can I spit fuel? Gas, flames, I'm a renegade. You renegade, just say you let the semi spray. Man, keep it real. I'm a problem and an answer to sum it up. Call me AI, God be my anthem. Y'all mad, having in the tantrums, but you smiling. Man, keep it real.
And you ain't gotta run with nobody when you running. You running. Take the fake and we can keep it real. And I know that bed feels so good when you sleeping. When they face on the ground, when they listen to the sound, I'ma tell them pick 'em up. 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 When they face on the ground, when they listen to the sound, I'ma tell them pick 'em up. I'ma tell them pick 'em up. Pick 'em up. I'ma tell them pick 'em up. Pick 'em up. I'ma tell them pick 'em up. Pick 'em up. I'ma tell them pick 'em up. Something about a rap dream. Or have you looking in the mirror at a crack fiend? And we be staying in the mud and surrounded by the blood. Denzel, pray tell in my last scene. No training day. And Reen looking at your fame today. And y'all don't never listen to the Jordan till you pip and make a shooter fall back like a fade away. Until y'all fade away. We ain't even tripping, no. Left the bull back a long time, Thibodeau. And we was looking when the opposition ran out. Knowing not the hater, hoping it'll never pan out. I know Jehovah got a mission and a plan out. Even when the cross burned in, they got the clan out. Why I gotta try to go and curse a hater fan out? When that blocker make a hater fan out. And you ain't gotta run with nobody when you running. You running. You take the fake and we can keep it real. And I know that bed feels so good when you sleeping. When they face on the ground, when they listen to the sound, I'ma tell them pick 'em up. 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 When they face on the ground, when they listen to the sound, I'ma tell them pick 'em up. 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 We gon' tell them pick 'em up. I'ma tell them pick 'em up.
Had enough of these Pharisees faking the facade they got on, got them all in amazement. No villain, not we. Students of the scrolls with a vision so keen. Wish a wolf would sneak, quick guillotine. Off with his head, never meddle with the sheep. Shepherd left a meadow with the sheep. Got the scriptures on my chest, about to load a magazine. Finna air it out, call it AI-15. Tell them who daughter you dealing with, Yahweh's. Jehovah my papa, I follow him always. I'm on my Aretha, just a little respect for the females. But they don't want a short round hair, like we ain't dropping bars round here, man, pick 'em up.
And you ain't gotta run with nobody when you running. You running. You take the fake and we can keep it real. And I know that bed feels so good when you sleeping. When they face on the ground, when they listen to the sound, I'ma tell them pick 'em up. 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 When they face on the ground, when they listen to the sound, I'ma tell them pick 'em up. I'ma tell them pick 'em up.